One of the main arguments of this book is that to become better readers of the Bible, we have to become better readers of horror. That's because the Bible contains many stories, poems, and other types of literature that, in some way or another, connect with the genre of horror. It might be that the narrative is straight out of a monster movie, or it might just be that the imagery asks us to imagine a horrifying situation, putting ourselves as readers in a position where we're asked to envision ourselves fighting Leviathan, or experience what it must feel like to be in the grave. When we know how to read horror, we'll be able to better approach these passages and see what they might be trying to tell us as readers and as people of faith. More and more, scholars have come to view genre as being less about the book or the movie itself. Genre isn't something that a movie is or even has because it checks off a certain number of boxes. Genre is a tool that audiences and cultures create as a way to talk about and receive works of literature or movies or whatever it may be. Genres help us to know how to take in what we're looking at and to process it. One way of looking at the problem so many readers have with the Bible is that it's a mismatch of genres. We have all these ideas in our mind about what the Bible is. I would suggest it's its own genre, the genre of Bible. Except this genre that we have in our minds isn't a genre that exists, and it certainly isn't the genre that the actually existing Bible as it's written participates in. It might be that we get this genre fixed in our minds from the children's Bibles we read or have read to us before we're able to read, or from what we learn in Sunday school and other church activities from when we're young. Or it might just be that it's the cultural water we're swimming in. In our minds, this Bible features stories that are morally uplifting, have an easy-to-digest message, and are clearly applicable to our lives today. Of course, this idea of the Bible, this imagined genre, doesn't survive very much contact with the actual Bible. It's certainly possible to pull out enough passages to create a cut-and-paste version of the Bible that matches these expectations, but any attempt to read it through from Genesis to Revelation quickly reveals that it's a very different book than this idea we have in our heads. We're not reading what we expected to be reading, so we don't really know what to do with it. That's the conundrum that my 10-year-old self faced when I first tried to read the Bible straight through, and the conundrum that many readers face anew all the time. There's one easy solution. Don't read the Bible and just receive it as the imaginary book you learned about as a child. I've heard this solution described as being similar to how we treat the software agreements we're confronted with every time we install a new program on our computer. We don't read it, but just click "I agree" and assume that whatever's in it is fine. The problem with that is that it only allows for a surface-level engagement with the book and with all of the religious heritage that has stemmed from it. To truly dive more deeply into the Christian faith, we've got to start by accepting this book as it is, not as the Sunday school fantasy we might wish it was.